Breaking news! There was just a huge nuclear explosion in the Ukraine that's said to be called the Chernobyl accident, which was the result of a flawed reactor design that was operated with inadequately trained personnel. The resulting steam explosion and fires released at least 5% of the radioactive reactor core into the atmosphere and downwind. 2 Chernobyl plant workers died on the night of the accident, and a further 28 people died within a few weeks as a result of acute radiation poisoning. UNSCEAR, or UNSCEAR, says that apart from increased thyroid cancers, there is no evidence of a major public health impact attributable to radiation exposures 20 years after the accident. Resettlement of areas from which people were relocated is ongoing. We now cut to a scene live from Chernobyl.
This place was abandoned overnight. They had no time to take anything. Factories, schools, stores, apartments, everything's still there.
There is Pripyat, home to the workers and families of Chernobyl. Reactor number 4, where the disaster happened.
Is it safe?
I have Geiger counter to let us know if the radiation levels are high. Tell me if you see something moving in water.
Anybody else?
Welcome back. In case you're wondering on how a nuclear power plant works, our scientists back in the lab have created a handy-dandy video to teach all of you guys.
In a pressurized water reactor, water is enclosed in 3 separate but interacting loops. In loop 1, water becomes intensely hot as it absorbs heat from the energy of nuclear fission. But because it is under very high pressure, the water doesn't boil and remains a liquid. Pipes from loop 1 wind through a steam generator tank that is part of a second, lower pressure water loop. Heat from loop 1 boils the water in the steam generator, and the energy from the steam powers turbines that drive electricity generators. The steam is then cooled and condensed in a heat exchange with a third water loop, which carries water from the cooling tower. The liquid water in loop 2 then returns to the steam generator where it is reheated and the cycle continues.
I hope you enjoyed the video. I am now going to talk to you more about the health effects of the Chernobyl disaster. The Chernobyl accident caused many severe radiation effects almost immediately. Among the approximately 600 workers present on the site at the time of the accident, 2 died within hours of the reactor explosion and 134 received high radiation doses and suffered from acute radiation sickness. Of these 134 workers, 28 died in the first 4 months after the accident. Another 200,000 recovery workers involved in the initial cleanup received high doses of radiation. The number of workers involved in cleanup activities at Chernobyl rose to 600,000, although only a fraction of these workers were exposed to dangerous levels of radiation. Both groups of cleanup and recovery workers may become ill because of their radiation exposure, so their health is being monitored. The Chernobyl accident not only affected the Ukraine, but also resulted in widespread contamination in areas of Belarus and the Russian Federation. Some say that the high doses of radiation cause leukemia and thyroid cancer. To date, about 6,000 thyroid cancer cases have been detected among these children exposed to the radiation. Apart from the increase in thyroid cancer after childhood exposure, no increase in overall cancer or non-cancer diseases have been observed that can be attributed to the Chernobyl accident and exposure to radiation. However, it is expected that some cancer deaths may eventually be attributed to the Chernobyl accident over the lifetime of the emergency workers, evacuees, and residents living in the most contaminated areas. We are now bringing you live to an interview from Catherine Monroe.
Her home is in the Highlands, but Katrina Monroe was studying in Minsk, 250 miles away from Chernobyl, when a series of explosions ripped through the nuclear power plant. 25 years later, Katrina has breast cancer.
Chernobyl was just a dinner party story for me for 22 years, and it wasn't until August 2008 when I was diagnosed with stage 4, that's incurable breast cancer.
Thank you for tuning in to Half and Half News at 9. We'll see you next week.